Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it is so lovely to see you today. In today's video I'm going to be talking about connecting with nature when you're disabled and you're a witch. So grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. So the first thing I want to say is this was a suggested video. So if you have any ideas or any videos that you would like me specifically to talk about, anything I've done before that you want me to do another video on, just let me know in the comments. I'm always open to doing suggestive videos. But this is a video all about how to connect with nature, how to get that itch that we all have to connect. We all hear about these things about how forest bathing can help your mental health and get outside, but what if you're mainly housebound, which is like me? I don't leave the house very often. I didn't used to leave the house at all really, except for once or twice a month. And I think it's important to remember that not everybody can go out foraging, right? Forests are not exactly accessible. I find this topic incredibly interesting because it affected me when I first became a witch. I was like, well, I can't do that and I can't do this. And you see these witches out doing things and you want to do it too. You see it on Instagram, you see it here on YouTube. And that's why my first tip is YouTube vlogs. These don't have to just be witches vlogs, they could be anybody's vlogs. There are so many people who just go out and walk about in nature. So have a look around for foraging videos, for videos out in nature, people going for days out at certain places. I love watching vlogs of people in different countries that I know I will probably never get to visit. I find it really incredible to watch other people experience things I probably won't get to experience. And connecting through YouTube videos is really, really special. My favourite kinds of vlogs are of course witchcraft vlogs. I love Pagan Crafting has recently started doing little vlogs of herself foraging and things, and I absolutely love that. Also, there are other witches that definitely vlog their time out and about in nature, and I love that. Also, people who go for walks in nature, it's really helpful. It really helps you to see the world and to connect with nature all around us. The good thing about the witchcraft vlogs is that they of course can talk about it in that way, but there's not only those. So definitely open your mind, think outside the box. There is so much content on YouTube. You're bound to find a creator who makes vlogs out in nature that you just love. The next one is meditations. I use a lot of different platforms for my meditations, and one of my favourite things is walking meditations. Now I don't walk while I do walking meditations because that would just be frankly dangerous, but I do love following along as other people do like nature walks. I did a really good one just the other day, and it was a fella who was in somewhere in India, I can't remember exactly where, but he was in like a national park, and everything he could see, everything he could smell, everything he could touch, and what the gravel was like underneath it, he described everything so well that I could just picture it in my mind. And I have this wonderful memory of just being really grounded in the moment and just really listening and picturing my internal brain version of this walk, and it was so beautiful. He even had his dog with him, and it was so lovely to hear him talking about the dog in the stream and things. So meditations can be a wonderful way. I also love grounding with trees. These are amazing ways. I did one meditation really early on in my meditation journey where I was sat cross-legged at the foot of this big wise oak tree, and then my trunk like merged into the trunk of the tree and you became the tree. That was really inspiring and I felt so connected in that moment. But there are loads of different ways of using meditations, using meditation time, as well as yoga nidras where you take a nap or have a rest, of really connecting with the nature, of that different people are different in different parts of the world are experiencing, and I really love doing that. It's one of my favourite ways of connecting with nature. Another one is one that I don't personally do because I'm not a big fan of them, but watching nature documentaries can be such a wonderful way of learning about the world, learning about different insects and animals. You could even then use that as a place to step off and do research into the animals you saw, the plants you saw, and the magical correspondences. I think that's a really, really wonderful way of doing things and really helps you to connect with the nature of it. My favourite ones when I used to watch nature documentaries was David Attenborough. His voice is just so relaxing, and I used to love just lying on the sofa and watching these nature documentaries. So if you're into nature documentaries and you've not yet watched any by David Attenborough, go and check him out. He is in England. He's like a national treasure. We just love him. So yeah, go and check him out. Another wonderful one is books. Oh my goodness, there are so many books out there, from like National Geographic books and magazines to books of people traveling around the world, travel journals, that sort of thing. These sorts of books are great for connecting with nature, as well as just witchcraft books in general. Many of them help us to think of ways to connect with nature that's a little bit unusual, that helps us to step outside of the box and to find different ways of doing things. And I think that's really important when it comes to this. It's thinking outside the box. The next thing is crafting, and I've done a lot of this myself here on the channel. I did a whole thing where I collect owl feathers because we have an owl called Merlin, and so I made like this wonderful thing that I can just tuck them in and keep them. Crafting with real nature is such a wonderful, wonderful way of connecting with nature. You can order so much stuff online. Like, I know many of us feel like, oh, unless I go out and pick it myself, then it doesn't count, but it's not true. You can get plants, you can get flowers, you can get loads of like crafting mosses. You can buy so much that you can then get ordered to you and use, as well as asking friends and family members if they pass anything, or if they have any flowers in their garden, or if they see any nice sticks. I know us witches, we love a stick. But asking friends and family as well to just bring stuff when they come to visit is really lovely as well. But don't forget that you can order like a bunch of flowers if you would like. You can order a lot of things from a lot of different platforms, including places like Etsy, where you can get so much stuff people make themselves. And a lot of witchcraft Etsy sellers will sell plants specifically for witchcraft and for crafting. So just get out there, have a look around. It really does help. It helps me a lot connect with nature and to bring it into my house by crafting with it. And the last one is cooking and making teas. Now this is something that I wanted to add in, but I definitely wanted to put it at the end because obviously it's not possible for all of us. Many of us are unable to cook. When I do cook, I cook with my husband and he helps me, things like chopping and stuff like that. But I love cooking. I love cooking things from scratch. It's something that makes me so happy. I just love it. There's a lot of people as well who make teas from scratch, but you can also buy a lot of things to make into teas, again from like witchy Etsy sellers. There are a lot of like online spice and herb shops that you can buy things to make tea with. So again, think outside the box. Think if it's possible for you to make yourself a tea. I know it can be hard. I know not everybody has this ability, but if you're able to use actual real produce, that's amazing. I often try to do at least 1 or 2 recipes a week that I make from scratch. It can be difficult with fatigue issues, but if you can do it, that is a great way of connecting, using kitchen witchery and connecting with nature to help us live healthier and happier lives. that is wonderful. I know many of us in the disabled community struggle with that, and so it's not possible to do, but if it is, that's just an idea for you. These were just the things that came off the top of my head. Within about 5 minutes I thought of all these things that were things that I do regularly, like several times a week. I use these different things to connect with the world around me, to connect with the nature around me. I also am very lucky because I have a back garden. I can go and sit in my back garden if I need to ground and connect with nature. But it's not something that I do very regularly, just because of, I have to be careful with, you know, often outside temperature is either too hot or too cold for me. I'm just one of those weird people. But you know, there are always ways to connect. Even using things like essential oils in a burner can be really good. You can get like electrical burners, not just the ones with the candles. I think that makes it a little bit more accessible. So yeah, I hope this has given you some ideas and helped you to understand that connecting with nature doesn't just stop with I can't go outside, because I have definitely found myself moving mountains to try and get outside and then finding it's not possible and getting frustrated with that. But once I started to think outside the box and to find other ways of connecting with nature, that's when the whole universe opened up. Because when you look around us, we are all always surrounded with nature, whether you're in the house, whether you have electric pumps and gas cylinders and things around you for medical appliances. It doesn't matter. At the root of everything is nature. And I'm an animist. I think that's what they call it. When everything has a soul, everything has the fabric of the universe going through it. And if you believe that too, then you're always surrounded with nature. Don't ever let the fact that you need to stay indoors, or you're in hospital, or you have carers come and see you, don't let that stop you from connecting with the universe around us. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a cheeky like and a comment down below, as it helps me to know, and the YouTubiverse to know, that you enjoyed it, and it will get spread out just that little bit more. While you're down there, don't forget, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell, so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here on Mondays and Fridays. I always try my very best to be here with you at least once a week, every single week. Take care everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!